Hi everyone, good morning. I was writing my morning email and I suddenly was like, oh no, I have to do my live stream. And I love doing my live streams because they're so much fun. I get to connect with all sorts of really great women. And you know, when you grew up feeling really isolated and alone and you had to work your butt off in order to make friends and find people that you could be close to, you know, technology's been wonderful because it finally lets us come together, you know, and come out of the shadows and connect in a real way, even though it's technology based. Connect in a way with other people. Hi, Kathy! With other people who, and Bijal's here too, who get it, you know, who've done the work, who are past. Hi, Lisa, who are past the you know garbage of being too caught up in how busy the world is. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Rita Hickman. I'm a shiatsu massage therapist, Asian medicine energy worker, body mind specialist, expert, and just a really cool human being. Do you like my ego? So, okay, so today's topic, I love to dive right in, is energy medicine for the smart, intuitive woman. So, you know, one of my challenges is I've always been somebody who, you know, who's done well in school, who likes to think things through. And one of my passions is understanding how things work. And the problem I had with energy medicine for the longest time, because I you know, study with indigenous medicines and I, you know, hear about Reiki and I'd hear about hands-on healing and things like that. And the problem that I had is that they didn't make sense to me. You know, everybody was talking about channeling and universal energy, and I'm a hollow bone, and the spirit world's talking to me, and I didn't have any of that. You know, but I knew I had a lot of issues and I knew I had to figure them out because I got really tired of feeling sick all the time. You know, my stomach knotting up. I got tired of feeling anxious and being angry and getting in the way. Hi, Peggy. It's been a while. Nice to see you. You know, and getting in the way of my own success, of wanting to do well. Hi, Annette. And I got really tired of that. You know, I knew I was so much more. I knew that I had so much more to give and I could be so much more, but everything kept getting in the way. And so when I started to look for answers, everybody had all these really crazy mystical reasons. And everywhere you turn, no matter who you look to, they had a different story. They had a different reason. And you had to buy into that logic. You had to buy into that that paradigm. Otherwise it wouldn't work. You know, otherwise you were ostracized, and you know, if you didn't drink the Kool-Aid, then you didn't belong. And I'm someone who, you know what, I'd been told what to do for way too long in my life, and I wasn't willing to suspend my belief and just, you know, follow one thing if it didn't make sense to me. If I couldn't repeat, you know, and just like a scientific experiment, if I couldn't repeat what had happened, then how could I be consistent? How could I make things happen on a regular basis? And that was really frustrating for me. And so when people would talk about animal spirits and they would talk about their guides and they would talk about their voices and using crystals and using pendulums and all of those things, you know, it just didn't make sense to me. This big broad vision of energy and God. I was raised Catholic, which means that for me, and I didn't buy into Catholicism, it didn't stick with me. It was just way too ungrounded. It didn't feel like it was something that I could recreate. And I felt really funny and weird talking to people about even energy. And so I went sideways. I went into Asian medicine, and finally I found an interpretation that worked for me. Hi, Marianne, good to see you. Finally found an interpretation which worked for me. And for Asian medicine, it was that everything is energy. Great. I can finally, you know, grasp onto something. A pulse is energy and blood is energy and all of this stuff is energy. Okay, cool. Deborah, great to see you. It's been quite a while. So I went down the rabbit hole of Asian medicine, and then I went down the rabbit hole of science. Hi, Rue, great to see you. And science has started to catch up with energy medicine, and that's the beautiful thing. Science has started to be able to explain the unexplainable. You know, in the past, people knew things were happening. You know, if they put their hands on you and they had a positive intention and they sent love and light, then they actually saw things happen. You know, changes would happen. People would be more relaxed. Their bodies would heal itself. You know, cancers might be reversed. And shamanism is the same way. They would use these spirits and herbs to go into a different consciousness, a different level of consciousness, and see things and know things and come back and people would be healed. Here's the thing, though. Energy medicine was based on the things that we didn't understand, the things that we didn't see or weren't explainable. But as time has gone by, science is starting to back up meridians, you know, of Asian medicine, acupressure points. They're starting to, you know, Candace Pert's work is amazing before she passed on the biology of emotions. So I started to look at energy as the things which we don't understand how they work. They seem invisible and mysterious, but change our state of mind and encourage our body to heal itself. So energy medicine can really tell a body how to heal itself. And in many Native American and North and South Native American and indigenous cultures, healing isn't just physical healing. Healing is also healing your relationships, helping your family heal, getting closer to your daughter or your son, healing your relationship with your spouse, getting things to work for you again, finding a passion or a career that you love. Healing doesn't necessarily mean that the person doesn't die. It means that some aspect of their life, some corner of their life has been healed. So when I dove down, you know, into this dark hole of what is energy medicine, I found out quite a few things. That a lot of times when we're working with energy medicine, we're working with the body and the body-mind. We're working with the nervous system. I'll give you a great example. You know, so in energy medicine, they'll say, put your hands on somebody's belly and send them love and light and have a good intention and watch miracles happen. On a science, more practical-minded base, hi Veronica, good to see you. When you put your hands on somebody's stomach, you're drawing their body's attention to that part of them. And the body's going to say, oh, you want me to do something? And it'll send life there. It'll send new life. It'll send blood and white blood cells and red blood cells and nervous system signals, and it'll widen the blood vessels, and it'll, you know, like a laser pointer on your cat, you know, it'll give your body, it'll direct its healing abilities, its natural innate ability to heal itself. You know, when you heal yourself from a cut, it's like a miracle, isn't it? And it is a miracle. That's your body's healing abilities. So when you rest your hands or place someone's focus on that part of their body, the body says, oh, you want me to do something? Okay. Now, what about the love and light piece? When you spend a lot of time cultivating being in a peaceful, kind, compassionate state of mind, that actually those are chemicals. It's your body, it's your thyroid, it's your adrenal glands, it's everything. They're releasing chemicals into your body to make you feel a certain way. And your brain, that's why they can put all those sensors on your brain and know what's happening inside your head. Your brain also goes into different wavelengths and sends off different wavelengths based on whether it's alpha or delta or, you know, based on which wavelength it's in. So when you've got your body in a place of kindness, then your body, your cell receptors will resonate for that kindness chemical, that serotonin and dopamine. You know, you'll have a lot of cell receptors for those, and they're always fluttering, and you can feel it a few feet away from your body. And the same thing with your mind. If your mind is calm, then it's a different brainwave state, and you can feel that and sense that a little way away from your body. So when a healer comes into someone's space and they're in a place of love and kindness and calm, and they place their hands on someone's belly, then that person not only relaxes, So, their body, any blocks, any nervous system tension, any, guarding gets out of the way. They relax. So nothing gets in the way of, that blood and those signals and that life going to that part of their body. And your hands or your intention focuses that energy on that part of that body. This is how a lot of energy medicine works. It's about talking to the body and telling it what you want it to do. It's very measurable. So you don't have to believe that you're channeling a spirit guide from 100 years ago. And I'm not saying that's not true. I think there's a lot of stuff in the world we don't understand. But energy medicine is something that's very measurable and very practical. And if you want to start rewiring and reshaping your body and your mind and your life, it's totally possible. Because your body recreates itself over the course of every 7 years. So every 7 years, every single thing in your body has been changed over. They've all been replaced, because new ones have grown and other ones have been shed. So with the process of living your life differently, in the process of thinking differently, focusing differently, you actually shape your body and your life and the people around you, because now you're impacting them by your state of mind and by your own choices. You shape everything around you through that. So it's not that it's some mystical, magical. It is magical, because isn't that cool that we can do that? Isn't that amazing that that's possible? Breathing is amazing. So it is a miracle, but it's a miracle that we can get some understanding of how it really works. You don't have to rely on, magical and mystical and secret knowledge anymore. You don't have to believe in the story that doesn't make sense. You don't have to embrace someone else's dream. That's their dream. Those are their metaphors. One of the great things that older cultures have learned is the power of metaphors on the body, the power of stories. And so they used stories in most of their energy medicine, most of their energy healing, in order to get someone else's mind on board, to get them to agree with what's going on. A big part of healing is faith. This is where, hi Margie, good to see you. This is where faith healing comes from. Because when you believe something is going to work, your body generally starts to make it happen. The rule of thumb in any good medicine anymore, both energy, Western, physical, Eastern, is do the thing that you believe is going to work. Because if you believe it's going to work, whether it's the surgery or the pill or the walk or the meditation, your body mind will make it work. So find the story you like. Find the story you can believe in, that you can dive deeply into. I had a hard time diving into everywhere I turned, every new therapy or skill or medicine. Had some, I sat on a mountain and I got hit by a lightning bolt in my third eye, and all of the wisdom of the universe poured into me, and I just knew. Really? Seriously? And they probably did know, because something opened in them and their subconscious was able to finally integrate it all and say, aha. And the only way they could understand it is through dreams or metaphors or visuals, because that's how our body-mind works. So if you recognize that a lot of this energy medicine, even though they contradict each other, they're based on metaphors. When you realize that metaphors are a big piece of energy medicine too, you're able to really let go and embrace it. Now you don't have to stick with one type of modality or one type of tool as to why this works or doesn't work. Well, it's because God is talking, the universe is talking to me directly through my mind. And that's what I hear. And the devil's on one shoulder and the angel's on the other shoulder. Wait, stop. There is a scientific basis for why all of these things work and how your subconscious works. And so because we didn't understand it, all of these cultures and all of these people, and even now, because we don't understand everything that's going on, we have to come up with something that makes sense. something that, embraces a visual, that embraces the story, that can somehow explain what's going on. But in reality, these mysterious things are just things that we don't understand how they work yet. So you can start to embrace these therapies that you do. You don't have to be worried about them or frightened about them or thinking that you're even going to screw them up, because you can't. A lot of the tools they give you are really, really helpful and really functional. You just have to realize that they aren't, you don't have to buy into the story in order for them to work. You don't have to believe that if you look down through the generations of ancestors and they've passed this secret knowledge down to you, you don't have to believe that. You can believe that, oh, look, when I place my hands here, it tells the body, this is where I want you to pay attention. This is what I want you to do. Okay? And that's how, talking to people and placebo effects and beliefs and faith and energy medicine, that's how all of this stuff works. It works because it works with the body and the mind and the environment. It works with the choices that you make. It's very practical and very logical. So the next time you go to a workshop to learn a new therapy or a new skill, keep in mind and that you can take the tools they give you without having to buy into the story. One of the reasons I think people go to seminar after seminar, workshop after workshop, is because there always feels like there's a piece missing. The logic piece, the pragmatic piece. And so there's this craving to keep learning more. And actually, it's a really good economic model. Keep people guessing and wondering what's going on and feeling like they can't quite get it right or they don't understand what's happening. And they'll keep taking workshops. It's a great economic model. But for you to really move forward and find that level of peace and zen and happiness and do great energy healing, you have to recognize that it's a story and that it is solvable. There is a roadmap. There is a way to get through this. And it's not based solely on something that feels too wiggly to understand, feels way too much like Doctor Who. So actually, energy medicine is kind of like Doctor Who. There's a logical reason for everything. We might not understand why yet, but if we keep searching, we'll figure it out. But as I said, science has kept up with things so well that we're learning more and more and more and getting more evidence on how all of this energy medicine stuff works. And that's what's really exciting, is because now we can go back through the ages, look at all these different cultures and the tools that they used and say, you know what, these work. They work. So let's use them. We don't have to believe that it was, a spirit from above or Orion or channeling the sun or anything. You can if you want, because that can be really powerful metaphors and beautiful language. But you don't have to. You can still keep that part of you that says, I want to logically, practically understand this. So feel free to dive into energy medicine and not worry that you're going to lose yourself, or not worry that you're going to be a fraud or a fake or that you're going to make things worse or screw everything up, because you're not. You're absolutely not. All you're doing is helping the body heal itself. You're telling it what you want it to do. And if you do come in with that kind, thoughtful intention, it will talk directly to the nervous system. It will entrain. The two nervous systems will entrain. And healing comes when we have a sense of calm and peace and caring and we relax. That's when our body kind of goes into that stasis, that little bit of hibernation, and says, okay, now's the time to heal itself. And that's what's exciting. When you go into that place, that's the healing place. That's where all the work is done. So, okay, on a side note, if you haven't set up your breakthrough call, please do. The link is above. It should be above. Because I'd love to chat with people about this coaching program that I'm starting. And I'd love to have as many cheerleaders on board as possible. We're going to take all of this great information that I've pulled together and that I use in my practice, and we're going to take it on a bigger scale. So people don't have to live in McHenry or Crystal Lake in order to work with me, in order to start to understand how to heal and how to take their life out of the constant fight or flight and be into a place of knowingness and confidence and calm and intuition. I'll help you get there because it's a really practical, lovely, fun process. And on the other side of it, you realize that, yeah, you have the power to create whatever life you want. And it's not based on magic, except the fact that we're alive is magical. It's not based on some story that that just sounds weird or is based on somebody else's culture or somebody else's belief system. You get to own it, and you get to work your process and really get your power back, which is so exciting. So set up your breakthrough call. We'll figure out the things getting in the way of your intuition. And if you're interested, I'd love to tell you about the coaching program. We start February 13th, and then it's closed. I'm not going to work with any more than 10 women. That's it, tops, because we're figuring this out together. And any more, I would, I'd short out. Okay? Cool. I'll see you Monday. Have a great rest of your day. Okay? Bye.